Hi everybody. Just wanted to come on here really quick to let you guys know what I'm doing. I am currently working on a sweater that I am crocheting in a single crochet vertically. Um, the Wicked logo on here. Um, just trying to get it done for the release of the movie. So I started working on this, and then I decided, hey, you know what? I have not um, done any video, any tutorial, anything to even tell you guys how I did this or how I got started or anything else. So that's what I want to do today. I just kind of want to go through this. By the way, my name's Lisa. I am with Crochet at Last. And it's on my channel. If you're new here, hit like and subscribe. And let me just get into this with you real quick. Okay, so first of all, what I did, I hope you guys can see this. I'm currently attaching the bottom piece. So the way I got started, I went to stitchfiddle.com and I uploaded a screenshot of their logo, Wicked. And I tried going horizontally across from another video. And by the way, I've only seen one video on YouTube on how to do this. So that's number one of the reasons why I'm actually making this video. But anyway, so I decided, because I was having to do some tapestry crochet, which I am not familiar with very well. I am now after doing all this, but at the start I was not. The person that had the other video on here, they were actually working side to side, so it was horizontally. I just could not get the letters to line up the way I wanted them to, and I found that I was switching yarn so frequently, and it just looked like an absolute mess. As a matter of fact, I'll show you what happened. Okay, so this was actually me starting over on one attempt, trying to work crossways. I don't know if you can tell or not, but on here, you can just see how absolutely spaced out the yarn looked. Just trying to count it off. It was an absolute nightmare, and you see all the tie-ins, because typically with tapestry crochet, you really shouldn't carry your yarn continuously, and it uses a massive amount of yarn to do that. Well, I decided after this attempt, and you can see how it just, I don't know, it just didn't look right to me. Very grainy looking. I didn't like it. That's the point. And it was pulling the letters sideways, as you can see. That I is actually going that way. Didn't want that. So anyway, out. So I got this much neater, much nicer. What I decided to do was to do it vertically. And I ended up liking the little, it looks like, you know, a little paint splatter type of thing, with things that I think I could really work with. So I just started, I decided to do it vertically. In doing that, first of all, my stitch count from here to right here, as you can see, I'm sewing on this extra piece, all right, or crocheting, excuse me. It is roughly 36 single crochets. That is 36. So this I actually added on after the fact. I actually started about right here, maybe about 3 or 5 rows out. I counted this up, and again, like I said, I kind of had a basic idea from going in with the image and then loading it to a graph to just kind of get an idea of how many stitch rows I was going to need for the colors. And I counted 36 this way, going this way. When you're going in the other direction, you're looking at about, I would say roughly, to be on the safe side, to actually fit this word into it, 45 single crochets would be in that direction, or 45 rows, excuse me. Okay, so what I did, when I got to the part where I was where they were showing me how to go in, and I recommend that you look at some videos for how to go in and start a loop, and I'm going to try to show you one here as well on a piece of scrap yarn how to incorporate the letters. But as you can see, I was able to continuously carry the colors that I was using for a longer space, and they just turned out so much neater. I have no words for the K. This actually should be across here like this one. But this is the look you would get going in and doing this. But the vertical, I have done both. As you saw, I have done both. And the result for the vertical, for me, was much better. So let me show you something. Give me just a second. And by the way, let me show you the yarn that I used. First of all, I love this yarn. This color is called Hot Rose. It is number 350, Hot Rose. I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook. I wish I could tell you the brand. I'm so sorry. Do not recall. Got it at Hobby Lobby. All of my materials came from Hobby Lobby. The green that I used is Yarn Bee Mini Maker Green. That is the color you get about, I think that says, you know what, I have glasses, why not use them? 65 yards is what this is, of this green. And then I already took the label off of the black roll. Anyway, this is also, I love this yarn, and it is in black. Okay. All right, so what I did, I'm sure this is attached. Of course it is. All right, let's try something different. Here, I can actually show you on this. All right, since I already have black. Okay, this is how you do this when you're incorporating these colors. I really hope this helps. I am going to finish this up. I'm going to do vertical sleeves, and I'll show you the finished product when it's done. But I just did not want to complete this. I felt guilty, actually, because I know that people that I know have been doing a lot of searches specifically for something like this. And when I looked on YouTube, I also was searching and literally have only found one video. Hold on. I literally only found one video on there where someone was actually attempting to show how to do this. All right. Okay, so here we go. We're going to use the green. We're going to use the pink. Okay. Because I can take this back out, so no big deal. All right, so we'll just start this. Just loop it over, pull it through. Everything's going to be single crochet with this. Just yarn over, you know, do a chain. Okay, so say I'm going along and I'm doing the green. Okay, wrong end. I'm so sorry, y'all. This is what happens when you don't plan a video and it just happens. But again, didn't want to leave you guys in the dust because there's so many people out there that want to be prepared for this. Don't do what I just did. I did a double crochet, do a single. All right, so I'm crocheting along. All right, and say I need to do 4 stitches of pink. Obviously, you are going to, and I recommend doing this, is the only reason why I'm showing you. I know you guys know how to incorporate a color change. So you're going to pull this tight, but let me show you what you do. If your stitch should be over here in pink and you're putting in the pink, you still have the green on here. So here's what I did. In order to carry this pink, you're going to bring it, not that piece, you're going to bring the pink forward, okay? You want to ride it on the top of your work. Anytime you go in, you're going to go in through that little single crochet. I can get it in there. You want to be on top, the color, you want it on top, so you can pull this through like this and yarn over. You're going to pull it through the pink. There it is, okay? Now, you want to be able to hold on to your green because you're going to go back to it, so you just flip it. You see what I did there? you're going to actually pull your yarn forward. Now you're working and holding your pink, but you want to keep this incorporated. You're going to carry this color. So then you're going to go back in for your next loop. In the next single crochet, you're going to pull up a loop and pull it through. Just tighten it up, keep it tight. All right, so let's say I need 3 stitches in pink. I'm still carrying the green, as you can see. Now, I need 1 more in pink. I'm still carrying the green. Every time you go in, make sure that this is on top. Now, I'm ready to switch back to the green. So I just turn it like that. I bring the pink forward now. I have that, but now I'm going to carry the pink because I'm going to need it again later. So you're going to do that. You're going to pull it over, pull through. So now I'm back to using the pink. I only recommend working with 2 colors at a time. But this is how you do it. I know it uses a lot of yarn, but for where you're going to be putting this pattern on here, you need to carry the yarn to get through these letters. The good thing is the only thing you're going to be carrying in this front piece is you're going to be carrying black and pink all the way through the C. I did not split my C, as you might have already seen the other video. Halfway through the C, it was split. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the camera. It was split through the C and the rest of the C was done in green. I did not do that. I wanted my sweater to be different. So that is how you do this transition on here. You want to make sure that you're able to transition back and forth. So that's how you do it. You can repeat that part of the video if you need to. And of course, instead of working with the pink and green, that's what you would do. But anyway, you always want to make sure, even when you get to the end of a row and you go to turn, make sure whatever color you're not using, but you need to carry, that you have it in front of you. And the part that you are using, keep it pulled tight. You'll want to tighten them up every now and then. And you'll want to make sure you go into that. And I'm going to show you one more time on here. You go into your single crochet. You'll pull that through, yarn over, pull it through. I know that loop's kind of big, but still, you can tighten it up just like that. Okay, now if you want to switch back to the other color, again, bring the color you're not going to use anymore forward. Keep this one back here in your hand, but ride it what I call on the fence line. You got to ride it on the fence line. So now you're going under the color as well as in the single crochet, and now you've switched over to your new color. But do you see how you're easily able to transition back and forth like that? Now, that is how tapestry crochet works, is how you transition your colors, and that will give you a nice, neat, straight row. Again, as far as being able to crochet that out, I did not want to carry yarn for the full extent of from the top of where I was making the letters all the way down to the actual full length of how long the sweater was going to be. So I'm now going in and just looping this part in. I'm still doing vertical crochet. It looks very neat. But the look of this turned out really nice with some of the little colors bleeding through. It actually looks super cute. And if you follow the logos, you'll see as you practice this step that I just showed you with the transitioning your yarn colors, it will get easier and easier. I suggest that when you start doing that, that you just, make some chains, single crochet it out, then go in. You just want to go in and practice on that and bringing in and incorporating your loops. I do recommend, if you don't like this look with the little dots of color, I think it kind of gives it a little funky, fun look to it. But if you don't want that, then you cannot carry your yarn any further than about 4 or 5 stitches, and you need to swap out. I just went ahead and carried mine. It was so much easier for me to do that and just always have my yarn with me than to keep snipping it off. But the great news is, don't let tapestry crochet scare you from this project. I have really enjoyed it. It's been an absolute learning curve for me, but I loved it. I've learned a lot from it. But I do recommend that in making this project, just keep in mind, basically when you're switching colors, or even if you decide to cut it off and not carry the colors, it's really not any different than your normal weaving in your ends. So that's just a little thing there to get you guys started. I wanted to come on here again. The stitch count for this, I started with about 3 rows of black out. The actual length of this going horizontally is about 40 rows, 45 rows along in there. You can count it out, but start at the edge. You can build the black around it with vertical. After you've completed the actual word, it makes it so much easier to crochet it that way. You will get to use your colors you transition over to for a longer space, so it just makes it look a lot neater, I think, and have a really good time with it. And let me know what you think, if you like it. And I will also be posting a later video when I'm actually finished with it, as I'm going to do one to show you the collar and how I achieved it, and the cuffs, and then the bottom end of the sweater. But yeah, I just wanted to do that so that you guys, if anybody out there is wanting to make a Wicked sweater, you would have some kind of an idea of how to get started and how to do it. And hopefully showing you how to do your transitions or incorporate colors will help a lot on there. And the stitch count here, again, you've got about 45 rows that way. And as far as your actual stitch count, I would make 38 just to make sure you can get all the way down to the end of this W, because it is longer. Everything else lines up. All of the letters line up precisely, but hopefully with just the little transition technique that I showed you, you guys will be able to have a lot of fun with it and keep your stitches straight. And happy crocheting. Thanks so much for watching my video.